What's going on, New York Giants fans? Welcome back to another video. If you guys haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification button so you get notified when a live stream pops, a video drops. Appreciate y'all. Back for another roster bubble series video. Hope you guys like it, and hope you guys like the other two that I did. With that being said, let's get right into it. This candidate played 58% of the snaps for the New York Giants last year, played a bit of corner too. That player is Isaac Yiadom. Isaac Yiadom was a third-round pick out of Boston College for the Denver Broncos back in 2018. Obviously didn't work out well if the Broncos were willing to give him up for Peanuts and Cracker Jack, 7th-round pick. That turned into linebacker Jonathan Cooper out of Ohio State with the 239th selection. With that being said, as I mentioned, Isaac Yiadom played a lot for the New York Giants last year, 16 games, 10 games started. As well as in terms of stats, 5 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, a sack, or at least a half a sack, 46 tackles, allowed a completion percentage of 61.7, 480 yards, 6 touchdowns, 121.1 passer rating, allowed 37 completions on 60 targets. So he, in my opinion, from what I see, from what I've been watching the Giants games, 6'1" obviously is big to some people. I don't think it's big, especially for the frame that Isaac Yiadom has. He's 190 pounds, so he's not even 200 pounds. One of my beefs with him, obviously, once again, Patrick Graham last year made Isaac Yiadom better than he actually was, noting the fact that we played a lot of zone defense last year, and it's likely to be more man or more blitz type now that we got better personnel than we did last year. With that being said, Yiadom, one of his, I would say, weaknesses is not in the passing game, but in the run game. I don't think he's a strong tackler. A lot of the weak tacklers got exposed last year in one game, and I thought that was the Ravens game because they rushed for at least 200 yards against us. Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins, if he was active, Gus Edwards. A lot of those guys rushed big against the Giants, and one of the guys that stuck out was Isaac Yiadom. He wasn't a strong tackler, and that's going to be a big thing, especially for competition in the preseason, because you do have some strong tacklers as cornerbacks as competition against Isaac Yiadom coming in the preseason. He had a missed tackle percentage of 9.8. They say in Pro Football Reference he had 5 missed tackles, but I thought it was a little bit more than that. I'm not going to say he's Curtis Riley or anything like that. He filled the void. I would say okay. I'm not going to say that he was the best corner. I'm not going to say he was the worst corner. I know, obviously, as a reactionary guy, I didn't like Yiadom last year. If you want to go back to the 2020 season, if you want to go to midseason myself, I didn't like Yiadom. I wanted Yiadom off the roster. He started improving against the Eagles, but once again, he is smaller than some other corners in the NFL, especially number 2 corners. I mean, you have to be tall to be a corner. James Bradbury's up there in height. Dewey Jackson as well. He's also speedy. But Yiadom, the biggest gaffes with him, in my opinion, is the height and also as well the tackling in the run game. Now, why do I say tackling in the run game or tackling period? Because here is the line of competition that Isaac Yiadom has. You got Aaron Robinson, good tackler from the University of Central Florida, 3rd-round pick. Darnay Holmes, not necessarily the greatest tackler, but he didn't allow a touchdown last year on, I think, over 50 targets as a rookie cornerback. Quincy Wilson, former New York Jet cornerback, former Colt cornerback. Rodarius Williams, the 6th-round pick out of, I think, Oklahoma State, if I'm not mistaken. Madre Harper, the undrafted free agent that was a special teams guy last year, even recovered a fumble on special teams, and he had trouble as a corner as well. Chris Milton, we signed him in the offseason as kind of a preseason flyer guy from the Tennessee Titans. And Jaron Williams, the undrafted rookie out of Albany. He stayed with the Giants on the practice squad last year. I think he was activated for 2 games and played some special teams, didn't play some defensive snaps. So, how could he win, and who can he beat? I think he could beat Quincy Wilson, Rodarius Williams, Madre Harper, Chris Milton, and Jaron Williams. Quincy Wilson, I don't think he has the skills to be a starting corner, and I think Yiadom is better than him. Rodarius Williams, he might have some issues as a 6th-round pick. Obviously, we had a 6th-round pick a few years ago, Corey Ballantyne, who was a 6th-round pick, made the roster, but once again didn't make the roster, or did make the roster in 2020, but did not stay very long, and he struggled in coverage. I mean, that was just a fucking mess in 2019 with the cornerbacks, but that's not the discussion right now. Madre Harper, more of a special teams guy, not a corner guy, so I think Yiadom could beat Madre Harper for a spot. Chris Milton, don't know much about him, but I'm guessing that he could beat Chris Milton for a spot. I'm guessing that Chris Milton could lose to Isaac Yiadom for a spot. And Jaron Williams, undrafted, didn't really get to play a lot of defensive snaps. I don't know what they see in him. I'm not in the locker room, not on the training camp field. So I'm just going to go out there and say Isaac Yiadom is probably better than Jaron Williams because he played more defensive snaps with the same defensive coordinator, obviously. Now, who he may not beat, how could he lose? In order to make it, he has to be good on the second team. I think he's going to play on the second team as one of the starting corners. It's going to be under massive evaluation because if they're looking to upgrade the scheme to more of a man or a blitz type, he has to do good in man coverage. He can't just sit in zone coverage like he did last year. Aaron Robinson's good at man coverage. I think Holmes has gotten better as well. You got the 2 starting corners and Adoree Jackson and James Bradbury. And obviously that 5th corner spot is open. It could definitely be Rodarius Williams. It could be Julian Love, depending on how they see him. It could be Yiadom. So how could he win? He could be a quality corner. He could just be a decent corner 1 or corner 2 for the second team, and that's how he could make it. And be a better tackler in run situations as well. I don't know what Patrick Graham is thinking for that type of spot. Obviously, training camp is coming soon. He'll probably think of an idea. And now, how could he lose? Aaron Robinson, in my opinion, will beat him. And he could beat him, obviously, knowing he's a better tackler. Aaron Robinson has some problems with the grabbing, but I think the tennis balls drill will definitely help with that one. Darnay Holmes, I think he's gotten better with the holding calls. I think he's gotten better in terms of going down the stretch in the 2020 season. He didn't give up a touchdown, so obviously that's big for him. And Julian Love, depending on how they see him, whether it's a safety or a cornerback, that's versatility that works over Isaac Yiadom because Isaac Yiadom is only a cornerback. Julian Love is a safety and a cornerback. With that being said, Julian Love did start over Yiadom in the final game last year against the Cowboys. And with that being said, Julian Love played very well, in my opinion. So, as a final projection, honestly, this is a tough one for me. This is probably the toughest one I've done so far. I'm going to say that he gets cut. I really don't want to say that because 49% of me says he's going to stay on the roster and maybe Julian Love is gone or Rodarius Williams goes to practice squad. But I think the Giants have a mentality of keeping all the draft picks on the roster. You know, last year they had everybody on the roster. They even had the 7th-round linebackers, the 6th-round linebackers stay on the roster last year. And some played important parts. Rodarius Williams, depending on his play in actual preseason games this year, could stay on the roster. You know, that's not a doubt in my mind. Julian Love, based on his instincts last year, he played well against the Cowboys, so that could be, you know, kind of an audition a little bit for a spot on the roster. Isaac Yiadom obviously was benched that game for Julian Love, and he actually was out-favored by Ryan Lewis a little bit last year in weeks 4 through 6, I believe it was. 4 through 6, 4 through 7, against the Cowboys, against the Rams, against the football team, and against the Eagles in week 7. So those are some weeks that he was out-favored by Ryan Lewis, and Lewis got some meaningful snaps. Yiadom got some too, and Yiadom actually was injured one of the games as well. But that didn't really play a factor in Isaac Yiadom's starting role. Only one game, I believe it was. He played 58% of the snaps. So final projection for Isaac Yiadom, I think he's going to be cut. 49% of me still says he's going to make the roster, but I think the Giants stick with Rodarius Williams. If they don't stick with Rodarius Williams, then maybe they put him on the practice squad. They could probably put Julian Love on the active roster as a cornerback. So with that being said, guys, that's the end of this video. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification button so you get notified when live stream pops video drops another roster bubble video. Yankees video is coming soon. With that being said, guys, peace out, see you later, and stay cool.